At night are big and bright, deep in the heart of Texas.
President Trump has some big visions for the tax code, and of course we've got the entire situation with Canada and trade and the wall and all kinds of stuff going on. But the Heritage Foundation was kind of in the middle of the news itself yesterday. Genevieve Wood from the Heritage Foundation joins me right now. Hey, Genevieve, were you in
Good morning.
Hey there, were you there when the protesters rolled in?
No, I actually was not, because I was at our offices on the other side of Capitol Hill. So our main building is close to the Senate, but we have an office on the other side, on the House side, and I was doing a briefing for some legislative assistants there when it all kind of broke out. Around 11:30 yesterday, you had about 200 protesters show up and force their way into the main lobby. Thankfully, we have a great security team, and that was as far as anybody got. No damage was done. But it was an interesting experience.
Now, because they would say they're protest. Everything's a protest. Now, if you say protest, you're sanitizing, sometimes trespassing. And I say if you're in a public square, you're on your own property, I don't have a right to tell you can't protest or say something. So, but this situation is where they barge in to private property, whether they're wanted or not, whether they're allowed or not, and do it. So as they were chanting, and here's what they were saying. If you're just joining us, here's what your lobby sounded like yesterday. So, Genevieve, did anybody around the Heritage Foundation listen to the hippies protesting and say, you know what, you're right, I think I'm going to change my entire worldview. I want big government now. Did it work?
No, if anything, I think it only solidified folks' commitment to doing what we've been doing. I mean, look, supposedly they were showing up to protest the fact that we had put out the budget a year ago that the Trump administration has taken from. In other words, that they have used in formulating their own budget. But the reality is, when we tried to talk to different people that were there as part of the protest, none of them could tell you why they were there. They would say many of them would say they couldn't talk to the media, but you could tell none of them had any idea really why they were there. There was another guy who was not part of the protest, but he had embedded himself. He'd gone to where they were locating originally, got on the bus with them, and he said when we got on the bus, nobody told us where we were going. They just said, when we get there, here's what you're supposed to chant. Here's they handed out these pre-printed signs. I mean, the people didn't even know until they got to Heritage where they were going. So when you talk about, renting protesters, that's exactly what was going on.
Yeah, but wait a minute, Genevieve. I don't mean to cast aspersions on the mainstream media at the national level, but I thought these were all grassroots concerned citizens who are well-informed and are representative of the majority of people in this country. At least that's what I'm seeing on the cable news networks.
Yeah, well, best I could tell, or best we could tell, this is a group organized, a group based in Chicago, I believe called People's Action or something along those lines. And they basically bust some of these folks in, but paid people to be here. Because, again, if you ask the people who were protesting, most of them could not tell you. I mean, at one point, the chant you were just playing, they were saying, water, not walls, water, not walls. What that's got to do with the budget, I'm not 100% sure. But the reality is, it's like many of the other protests you've seen, it's protesting because they don't like the Trump administration.
Yeah, absolutely.
If you get into specifics, they can't answer it.
And there are plenty of debates to be had over the president's policies and decisions. I agree with some. I disagree with others. But when it comes to the budget, he's unveiling today his tax plan. We just got a minute or so left here. He wants some big corporate tax cuts, which I'm for. But is he balancing it right with spending cuts? Is what he's about to propose something we should consider, or is it a good thing?
Well, I haven't seen all the details yet either, but I believe what I've heard and what I know of, I think it would be a good thing, because I do think it would grow the economy, which does help grow us out of some of the debt that we're in. But you're right. You can't just tax cut your way out of it, and you can't increase your taxes out of it. You've got to reduce spending if we want to get the budget and control the budget. So, look, he's proposed a lot of budget cuts. We would love to see him go further, but ultimately it will be Congress who puts forward a budget and has to vote on it. So, encourage everybody listening right now, you got to tell your member of Congress, we put you in Washington to reduce the size of spending. We do not want to leave a debt to our children and grandchildren. And unless they stop all the spending Washington does, that's exactly what's going to happen.
All right, very quickly, to be in touch, they go where?
They go to thedailysignal.com and heritage.org.
Genevieve Wood, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Cast off the